Gigantoraptor is now available in Path of Titans as a mod. This is made by the Archetypes team and was published by Snapping, of course, and here it is, the giant murdered chicken thing. Of course, this is the biggest of the oviraptorids, and this thing is a beast. So here it is, and these are the subspecies. You've got early Ensis, which is plus 5% run speed. Then you have Wiley, which is plus 50% acceleration speed. The changes mainly is the plumage just gets drastically reduced, especially on the tail and on the head. Then you've got Giganteus, which is plus 10% stamina recovery. Then you go back to the start, and to compare it, mainly it's more bulky. It's got an extra crest on the head, of course. So it looks like these have the standard species buffs that you can see in the game. So here is the Gigantoraptor baby, and I'm just walking at the moment. This thing's got such a slow walk as a baby. This is like almost like trot level, and if you do the actual trot, it doesn't have one. Hang on a minute, that is really random. But that being said, this thing is very adorable. It's got a very wrinkly neck is the best way to explain this. But of course it's got a bite attack as standard. And when you have a look at some of the other abilities, you can equip more head slots. There are 4 to choose from there, or 5 I think. You can equip your hide and your back limb as well. There are a lot of attacks that you can choose from as well. So, the Gigantoraptor is stacked in terms of abilities. Now, one of the things I do want to mention with this brand new mod is that you can only equip 4 of the attacks available at a time. However, there are a lot of attacks available. They mainly come from the back limb and the head. And the main thing is that you can see with the head, there's only 1 head slot there. Back limb has 2. So, let's go ahead and showcase these abilities. For the head, you get a bite that causes medium damage. You get Nutcracker, which is a charge-up attack. And then you get Peck, which is a quick attack that increases in power with each successful hit. Kind of like Claw Barrage, or kind of like that, but without the barrage part. It's just like the spamming part. Then you get Razor Bite, which is a low damage that does moderate bleed. Then you go to your sensors, you get Glare, which reduces stamina regen and increases sprinting cost for carnivores within 20 meters by 10%. And then you get Personal Space, which gains 4% attack damage for every second a carnivore stays within 6 meters of you, up to 20%. And then Wary, which gains 20% stamina regen when a carnivore is within 50 meters. After that, you get Borrowed Time, Second Wind, and Unflappable for your front limb. Borrowed Time is a buff that gains 15% increased speed at the start of combat for 30 seconds, followed by a 5% speed debuff for 15 seconds. Then you get Second Wind, which instantly regenerates a chunk of stamina and gains 20% speed buff for 16 seconds at 20% health. Has a 2-minute cooldown between activations. Then you get Unflappable, which is a 30% less knockback and 20% increased bone break healing. For metabolism, you get Bin Chicken, which allows you to eat bones, shellfish, and fruit. Then you get Trial Mix, which allows you to eat nuts, roots, and fruit. Then you get Herbivore, which is berries and fruit. Then you go to your hide, you get Dense Feathers and Lightweight Feathers, which are standard abilities. Then some new ones. Efficient Thermoregulation, which increases stamina regen by 10%. And Slick Feathers, which, of course, is a standard ability. So the main new one here is Thermoregulation. These all are standard abilities there for the hide. Then for your back limb, you get Gripping Claws, which gains 5% increased turning. Long Distance Runner, once again a standard ability. Sharpened Talons, which increases bleed damage by 15%. Strong Legs as well, a standard ability. We go to back limb, and then you get all of the attacks. One of these is not an attack, so there are 4 extra attacks to choose from. You've got 4 head slot attacks, 4 leg slot attacks and then 1 tail slot attack. So in the whole general scheme of things, there are 9 different attacks you can pick and choose and mix with. You get jump kick, which is a high damage attack. Flail, which is where you drop to the ground and flail, removing and damaging latched creatures. Leap, which increases jump height and decreases fall damage. Scratch, a kick that causes moderate damage and bleed. And then Stomp, which is an area of effects high damage attack. Then you get Bushy Tail, which damage and stats effects inflicted to your tail is dramatically reduced. Tail attack that causes knockback, and Balanced, which gains 5% increased turning. I don't know why I said that there, but yeah, maybe I just can't read. That being said, let's showcase all of the abilities off. So, with the Gigantoraptor, there are a lot of attacks that you can do. Of course, we've talked about all of them and went through them all, but now let's showcase them in practice. So, this is tested on a Lambeosaurus, and you got your standard bite, which is decent damage. Then you get Nutcracker, which is the charged up bite attack, which does a lot of damage on our Lambeosaurus. Then you get Peck, which is the attack that goes up with each consecutive hit. So obviously you start off with very little damage, but then you can stack it up to, I believe it's going to go to 5 times. And when it's at 5 times, it's doing quite a bit of damage. This has no cooldown pretty much, so you can very much spam it and tear apart an enemy. After that, you then get Razor Bite, which is the bleed damage. And when that happens, it deals 42 damage of bleed after about 5 or 6 bites. 42 seconds of bleed. For your tail attack, this is very simple, of course, a nice little tiny bit of damage. Then you move into the leg slots. We're starting with the kick that you have to do while running, which is called Scratch, and that is it right there. Then you get the leg kick, or the front kick, I don't know the name of it, but it is a kick. And I love that one. It does a lot of damage, but the animation I think is so cool. Then of course you have your area of effect Stomp, which once again does a nice amount of damage. It does have a very short cooldown as well, so that's important to note. Now I'm going to really quickly get a raptor. I'm going to showcase the flail ability. So we have the raptor latched onto us right now, and now we're going to do the flail, which, as you can see, does half health once it detaches the dinosaur. Then do the stomp and you kill it. You know, if the guy obviously reacted really slowly. But that's all the attacks for this dinosaur, and I think they're really neat. There are 13 skins to choose from on the Gigantoraptor mod, and firstly I'm going to show you the male and female on the default skin. The main change is obviously on the neck. Anyways, this is the default skin right here. The changes obviously are the plumage on the back, the coloration there. Then you go to the tropical skin, another gorgeous skin. Once again, the main changes are on that plumage. Red tail, another gorgeous skin with that red tail. Warrior, which is a mix of blacks and greys. Then you go to Cement, another one very similar to Warrior. Then you got Safari, Horus, Grain, Gobbler, which, well, it's a turkey pretty much, isn't it? Then you've got Courier, You've got Drumbeat, which is a really pretty skin. And then you got Melanistic and Albino. Now, what skin is my favorite? I'm not too sure, really. It's probably going to be Safari. That is a really pretty skin. And also, you know what? Warrior and Cement, really nice. Gobbler, of course, is quite funny because it's a turkey. But other than that, my favorite one has to be Safari. But yeah, that's all of the skins. So that is the Gigantoraptor, and this thing is something I cannot wait to see. I gotta say, I love some of the abilities, some of those back limb abilities as well. The animations are really nice, especially the one where you roll and it like will damage any latches. Also, I'm a big fan of the model. It looks very funky with the wrinkly neck. Like, it looks like it hasn't... well, it needs some skin lotion pretty much, or moisturizer. But that being said, this thing looks really, really cool. A big fan. And finally, we get to see another oviraptorid in the game. This one is the pinnacle of them all, Gigantoraptor. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments down below. If you want to check out another mod spotlight, check out this one, which is Allosaurus. Now, I do want to say there are other mods that I need to cover. Spearcrest and the Crab. We'll have one on Thursday and one on Friday. The reason why I'm not doing them all day today is because I'm balancing a work week as well. So I have to make sure that it's spread out so I can focus on work too. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next one. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.